y'all the next thing we're working on here. We're at a log deck. Got a metal detector over there. Guy operates this deck right here, and the head saw, he operates this deck right here. It's 2 decks. Metal detector deck, head saw deck, which obviously just all this goes to the head saw. Problem we had in the middle of the week, see, you got this shaft here. It drives this first deck. In front of this deck, there's another shaft that drives this deck. 5 strands on each. And these rollers, or sprockets here, are supposed to roll on this shaft. As you can tell, this one's locked up pretty flippin' tight. Tight enough it stopped me from sawing. So temporarily we just took the chain off, kept running it, cut as many 12. I'm really hoping we're not going to have to take this off and do a slick sleeve, because that's a lot of extra work. So we're going to get the rosebud, heat up this sprocket, and see if we can't break this thing loose, shoot some grease to it, and let her keep trucking. Got a feeling that's not going to happen. We're going to end up probably having to cut, you know, the sprocket side off, probably leaving that on there, and then fabricate some sort of slick sleevage, which is more or less just a piece of flat plate that's rounded, usually some thick wall pipe, and the chain will just run around it. Rather than a sprocket, it just drags across that slick sleeve. And if you build them just right, place it just right, you don't have to worry about it wearing too much, because the pressure, ultimate goal is to keep the pressure the same throughout the whole slick sleeve. Let's get the torch, see if we're lucky today, so we can go work on a scrag or something, find something else to do.
A little.
Well, so after a little while of heating and some PB blasting, we have successfully wasted about an hour of time, because that is not going to move. So once I get the call from the big cheese, I can just cut that thing off the shaft. I found this old deal here, the slick sleeve. I'm gonna put this bad boy in its place. You can see kind of imprint of the chain. The chain will just wrap around this. If I keep it, you know, adjust it just right, it'll have the same amount of pressure all the way around, which will make it wear evenly, if not wear at all. So let's give him a nice shout, and maybe we'll light up the old torch and get to cutting. He'll answer.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
I sent a voicemail. I think that just answers my question. I'll just cut it anyways. You know, don't answer the phone, you get the consequences. Hot. You'd think after as long as we've been doing this, I would learn that by now. Yeah. We got it down in the shaft. Huh, it's not.
Oh shit, I'm gonna switch sides.
Left-handed pile of The 1%. Not moving, is it? And I'll cut a little more off that corner. There's a problem right there.
I had nothing to do with this guy.
Right there. We know you had nothing to do with it, which is why it locked up. We're just kidding there. We appreciate you now.
Try it again.
Well, might cut that off just so it might slide right off. Crazy. This is absolutely crazy. If all goes as planned, this next hit will send her off. Philip's gonna be my hammer man here. Hit her off, Phil. You got the muscles? Or not?
What?
Should break off. Pretty sure I cut all the way through that top piece.
That set screw went down there and galled that thing.
Yep. There's your verdict. But heck, there wasn't a set screw in it whenever
Had to be something rolled up in there.
Yeah. I'd say that thing wasn't gonna
He wasn't gonna turn. Peel that off.
no, we shall do some notching in that or slick sleeve. I think that'll work, don't you?
Yeah.
Notch it right there and on the side, go around the shaft.
Make sure you get it on square with just like this is.
Correct, that way it keeps the same amount of pressure.
Yeah. Well, if you don't get them on there right, it'll cut through them. That'll be square.
You're gonna double check it before I weld it all out?
No, if you go square with that right there, square with into your tube, you'll be fine.
Have a lot of trust in me, don't you? Say I'm number one. Just go on and tell
You're
them.
number one.
A lot to hear.
When I ain't here.
So after doing some fine-tuned measurements, got it laid out how I'm gonna cut this slick sleeve. Picture on the same side, opposite side I mean. The way I got it now, I had to only do it so deep to the shaft and not getting to the slick sleeve itself. I'm trying to get the face of this part right here the same distance out the face of these sprockets. So I'm gonna have to add a little fill-in piece in between, which is no big deal. So I'll notch this, figure out my fill-in pieces, tack it all up, weld it up, do some cutting, and we'll have this booger done. We do also have to come down the other end of this first deck, which it has some pretty magnificently ugly slick sleeves on it. And this one is broke. We'll have to somehow weld that back up. Fun, always fun around here. Those being cut out, we should be able to just slide that right over the shaft, add our filler pieces, weld her out, cut the lip off, and we'll be done. So let that cool down during lunch and we'll come back and attend to this booger. So now we got our piece notch. I'm just got it resting here, but we will center that up. We are going to cut us some filler pieces. Go right down the side. We'll tack these up, throw in the filler piece, which is just going to be a little bit of 3/8 by 3. Tack her all up, get her welded up, and we'll be done with this, throw the chain on.
Eric, look at that ground. Alright.
That's pretty squared on it.
Yeah.
Hold that plate on there. Got everything tacked up in place. Gonna have to do a little trimming on the bottom, just keep the shaft from rubbing, but perfectly square. Gonna fill all this up, and then there'll be a job done. Donezo. Now that we got the sides here welded, both sides, we did 60, 11 up hill, then we capped it with a 718. Had to trim these sides, I guess, now so the logs don't hit it. And then we'll be done with this job. And then Donald and Eric straining themselves down there. They're kind enough to get the chain back on here for us. God bless them now, because I'm really glad we're not having to do that. What about you?
Very glad.
Try not to burn the mill down. Hand it to me, Eric. Damn, you ain't gonna get upset with me now.
Tommy, damn it, Tommy.
Gee, spaghetti grouchy bunch we got here. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. I'm gonna hernia doing this. I'll have to use a little come along at this point. Oh. Join that together. We got ourselves a true 5 stringer deck now. Might use a come along and pull that pressure. Got the fire watch crew up here. Paw Patrol. So instead of a sprocket, now I got a slick sleeve.